Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro. Can we just be real for a second and just tell the truth? The reason that there are a lot of people that are pushing against this Tank Davis and Lamont Roach rematch is so that they can try to continue to have something to hold over Gervonta Tank Davis' head in all the wrong ways, right? And they truly don't believe Lamont Roach could duplicate his performance in the first fight. Let's talk about that. Smash the like, sub to the channel. Share the video, turn on your notifications, and we live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. I'm also live Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. with KQKC. Let's talk about it. So, there's a push right now for Lamont Roach to move on, for Lamont Roach to do something else, for Lamont Roach to pull out of this fight, duck Tank Davis. Like, there's a push right now for that. Right? The worst kept secret in boxing is that this fight is done. You got O'Shaquie Foster letting you know that he's fighting on their undercard. Gary Antoine Russell, when called out by Lamont Roach, said, boy, you already got a fight coming up. PBC has already begun promoting for this fight. Tank Davis got through his damn court case as fast as he possibly could so that him and Lamont Roach could fight as soon as possible. I mean, every single sign is pointing towards Tank Roach too. But yeah, you still have people acting as if it's better for Lamont Roach to do something else. That this is not a fight that needs to happen. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you can't help but ask yourself why. And the only logical conclusion I could come to was a lot of y'all don't want to see Tank Davis shut a lot of y'all up. And you rather just continue to say he got a draw, say he lost for real, make hair grease jokes, you know, and shit like that. Because if he goes in there and he does Lamont Roach dirty in the rematch, all that shit realistically goes away. And a lot of y'all that root against him don't want to see that. You feel like you finally got something. You feel like you finally got some shit you can talk to a Tank Davis fan. People are going so far as to say that the rematch is not good, that Tank Davis needs to move on, Lamont Roach should move on. And I can't help but wonder, like, this is what I thought boxing was about, bro. I can't help but think of all the times that all-time great fighters were doubted. Am I calling Gervonta Davis an all-time great fighter? I'm not calling him an all-time great fighter. His career is not over yet, and he got a lot to prove before you can start calling him an all-time great and put him in the breath of those guys. But what I am saying is, great fighters, guys that are eventually going to become all-time greats, they had moments like this. They have moments like this where it looks like their back is against the wall. It looks like they might have met their match. And then they come out on the other side and let you know, nah, I got another level I can get to. I got another level of fighter in me, another level of warrior in me that I can tap into that this fighter can't tap into, and let me show you. I thought that these are the things that we were supposed to praise about fighters, that we were supposed to push to. And see, what happens is you hate on a man so much for people that love to make their living off of hating on Tank. They love to make their living off of denigrating that young man's name. For those people you hate so much, you can't ever give credit where it's due when it's right in front of you, or you can't push for what's right, even when he's pushing for what's right, even when he's trying to do what's good for the sport of boxing. You hate him so much you want to act like it's wrong. I just, like, when did it become wrong to try to get your get back in the sport of boxing? If somebody fights you closely, if you have a controversial decision where a lot of people felt like you lost. What's wrong with trying to get it right back? People are literally pushing against this, bro. Shit's sad to me, because a lot of people, like, so for instance, it's a lot of Devin Haney fans is pushing against the Tank Davis, Lamont Roach rematch. But those same fans were pushing for Shakur Stevenson to rematch Edwin De Los Santos, though. Talk to me. Talk to me. Make it make sense. So, you will push for Shakur Stevenson to rematch Edwin, but Tank Davis and Lamont Roach just needs to go away. These would be the same people. If Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach don't happen, it won't matter the reason why it don't happen. Tank Davis gonna get blamed by them. Lamont Roach could pull away right now with a signed contract, and people will blame Tank Davis, bro. These are the types of people that we're dealing with when we're talking about this topic, bro. You can get on Tank Davis fans for whatever you want to get on to him for. Because just like Tank got fanboys, a lot of these other fighters got fanboys too. You can criticize fans for whatever, but you know what? You can't criticize for nobody for. I ain't criticized not one Devin Haney fan that told me they wanted Devin Haney to get that Ryan Garcia rematch and get that shit back. But see, that's the difference between me and a lot of content creators, bro, and me and a lot of people that's in this boxing space. Just because I dislike a fighter, or just because I don't like the way the majority of his fan base conducts themselves, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I'm gonna keep it 100. Any fan of Devin Haney that was pushing for that rematch, like my brother Brandon Broussard, like Joseph Jackson and Jonathan Jackson, I remember they wanted Devin to get that rematch back. Now, they made stupid ass excuses for this lawsuit, but at least they wanted him to get the rematch with Ryan Garcia, and they felt like that's something that needed to happen. But yeah, you have people that'll be critical of Tank Davis fans for wanting the Lamont Roach rematch. That shit's crazy to me, bro. Is it? I don't understand, like, how that's even a thing. I don't give a damn who it is. I don't care if it's a bum. I don't care if it's somebody that's supposed to be lesser than. Any fighter that I support that have any kind of questionable performance, I want them to run that shit back. That's what you're supposed to do when you really believe in the fighter that you support. You're not supposed to want somebody in Tank Davis's position. Bro took a knee in the 9th round, bro. In my opinion, I've stood on it this whole time. I feel like that should have been a knockdown, bro. That fight was a 7-5 fight, 6-6 fight, either way, in my personal opinion. And you mean to tell me that as a Tank fan, I'm supposed to what? Shit get tough. He have a tough fight. We supposed to say, nah, Tank, just move on. That's scary shit, bro. That's scary, non-belief, don't really believe what you say about your fighter type shit. And then the crazy thing is, right, you showing as a hater, when a hater wants somebody that they don't like to move on, like people are trying to push Tank to move on, push Roach to move on, that's showing that you really believe in Tank and you don't believe in Roach. And I'll explain to you what I mean. Because if you believe that Roach could duplicate that performance, if you believe Tank is just really not that good, then you would want to see the rematch, because you know that Roach is going to beat him and you've been wanting for the nigga to lose anyway. But by not pushing for the rematch, what you're really saying is, you know that shit was a fluke in your heart. You don't believe Roach can duplicate that. You're worried that Tank is going to shut you the fuck up. That's really all you're saying. That all the jokes you making, all of the scared shit you making, he's scary, he this, all of that shit, you scared that this rematch happened, all that shit could go away because you worried about Tank stepping on that nigga. That's really all you saying when you are a hater or you're a fan of another fighter and you don't like him. It's really all you saying when you say, hey man, I don't want to see this rematch. But you talk so much shit about the first fight. So if a fighter is supposed to be great or supposed to be the face of boxing, and you talk so much shit about how he performed in the fight and how he lost the fight and he lost to Roach, shouldn't you be pushing for the rematch? He lost. He lost to this guy. This guy was a minus 1,500 underdog. He was this, he was that. He lost. I feel like he lost. He got gifted a draw. That's what a lot of y'all say. If you feel like he lost, and he got gifted a draw, then why don't you want to see the rematch? Because you don't care about boxing. You care more about being able to hold something over that young man's head. You care more about being able to make your hair grease jokes and your taking a knee jokes and your retirement jokes and your 1 foot in, 1 foot out jokes and going at the young man. You don't want him to show you that he all the way in. You don't want him to show you that he locked back in and he's motivated now more than ever. You don't want him to show you that bad performance put his head on straight. You don't want him to show you that Roach really ain't nowhere close to his level. Because see, if he show you all that, all them jokes y'all been making for the past 4 or 5 months, all that shit y'all been talking for the past 4 or 5 months, you can't do that shit no more. That's why people are running around here acting as if the rematch shouldn't happen. Roach should do this, Roach should do that. He could just fight Shakur. He can do this, he can do that. Man, that man ain't got no options on the table other than Tank Davis, bro. And any other option that he got, it ain't nearly as good of an option. So he's gonna sit there and wait for this fight to get announced. Which, by the way, I got another video coming just further solidifying my point that I've been making to y'all this whole time. But hey, y'all just stand by. But y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. These are the real reasons why certain people within this boxing community, certain segment of boxing fans, this is the real reason why they don't want this rematch, bro. It ain't about don't nobody want to buy the fight. Half of the motherfuckers saying the shit is Devin Haney fans and Shakur Stevenson fans. Y'all don't buy fights anyway, bro. Y'all don't buy fights, go to fights, buy pay-per-views and shit. The numbers of your favorite fighters show it. That's why they flop when they go on pay-per-view. That's why they flop at the live gate. That's why they get put on undercards and shit, bro. That's why they got to go halfway across the world to get their money. Because you niggas don't buy fights anyway, bro. And you're trying to convince and put your broke ways, your fire stick ways, you're trying to put that shit on Tank fans. Please, nigga. More people. So Tank Davis and Lamont Roach did damn near a $7 million live gate and sold damn near 300,000 pay-per-views for a fight y'all claim didn't nobody want. This second fight, even more people gonna buy that shit on pay-per-view and the live gate gonna be even bigger. So how the fuck don't nobody want to see this shit? how do we make sense of that, bro? You can't say what people do and do not want to see when you don't buy shit. You know what didn't nobody want to see? Didn't nobody want to see Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis, nigga? With that 50,000 pay-per-view buys, nigga. You know what people didn't want to see, nigga? Didn't nobody really want to see goddamn Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia with that $3 million, $4 million live gate. They couldn't even beat Tank Davis and Hector Garcia in the motherfucking same building. That's what motherfuckers didn't want to see. You know what didn't nobody want to see, bro? Shakur Stevenson versus Padwork Padley. That's why that shit was buried all the way on the goddamn card, nigga. You know what niggas didn't want to see, bro? Didn't nobody want to see Shakur Stevenson versus Williams and Pater. That's why that live gate was trash and they didn't sell no pay-per-views either for that fight. Those are the fights people really didn't want to see. Tank Davis, Lamont Roach too, a lot of people want to see that shit, bro. A lot of people want to see that shit, fam. And the ones saying that people don't, the ones that saying ain't nobody gonna pay attention to it, were the same ones saying when nobody gonna pay attention to the first one. But more people paid attention to the first Tank and Roach fight than any fight Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney had this entire year combined, nigga. More people paid attention to Tank Davis, Lamont Roach 1 than Shakur and Padley and Shakur and Williams and Pater combined, my nigga. More people paid attention to Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach than Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, my nigga. The people that was walking by that fight since it was in the middle of the street just kept walking, my nigga. The talk of that card was Rolly beating Ryan, bro. Didn't nobody say shit about Devin Haney and Jose Ramirez other than, nigga, y'all set a trend for running that weekend, nigga. William Skull saw that fight and got motivated to run track in his fight with Canelo. The fuck, man? Like, niggas be tripping. Like, y'all don't be making any sense when you talk, a lot of y'all. And you don't make any sense when you comment, a lot of y'all. The fact of the matter is, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach 2 is highly anticipated. It is a legacy fight. And yeah, niggas get mad when I say that. What is a legacy fight? A legacy fight is when you have everything on the line. And just because a first fight wasn't a legacy fight doesn't mean a second fight wasn't a legacy fight. A lot of fight fans act real stupid and retarded, bro, and it gets on my nerves, dog. The first Floyd Mayweather and Castillo fight was not a legacy fight. The second one was, because a lot of people felt like Floyd lost. The first Lennox Lewis-Hassan Rockman fight was not a legacy fight. The second one was because of what happened in the first fight when Lennox Lewis got knocked out in an upset fashion. The first Anthony Joshua-Andy Ruiz fight was not a legacy fight for Anthony Joshua. Andy Ruiz, in fact, was a fucking replacement opponent. And after he did what he did to Anthony Joshua in the first fight, the second fight became a legacy fight for Anthony Joshua. The first Tank Davis-Lamont Roach fight was not a legacy fight. It was a replacement fight because Lomachenko ducked. And they couldn't find anybody else. Nobody else wanted to fight. It was supposed to be a filler fight. Lamont Roach performed how he performed. Tank Davis performed how he performed. And now the second fight is a legacy fight because of all the controversy and how the first fight went. I don't understand why this is so hard for some of you goofy, dumbass motherfuckers, man. I don't get it. Y'all really that inclined to hate that you have no idea of context, no idea of the history of boxing, no idea what the hell you are actually talking about, bro, when it comes to this topic. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Don't worry, bro. And here's the thing. If Tank Davis loses to Lamont Roach in the rematch, then you can have all your, oh, he was overrated, he was this, he was that. He was always trash. He finally got somebody that's, you know, in front of him and blah, blah, blah. You can talk all that. I'm ready to eat crow if Lamont Roach is able to do that. The problem is a lot of y'all ain't ready to eat crow and put it all on the floor. And put your money where your mouth is and really see what's really up with this shit. That's why you pushing against it. Because you don't have any faith that Lamont Roach can duplicate that shit again. And me, myself, I have all the faith in the world that Tank Davis will fight way better in the second fight. And that because of the first fight, Lamont Roach's sense of confidence and his feeling that he has to do more to win is going to make him open up more. He's not going to sit and wait as much. And that's going to play right into Tank Davis's hands. And I think he going to walk. He going to walk that boy. Yeah. And I'm willing to see it. And I'm willing to push for it. Are you? Smash that like, sub to the channel. I'll see y'all soon. Peace! Gervonta, Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro.